Hi folks, in this video we're going to go over some of the administrative stuff for the class. The point of this video is to hit the highlights of the syllabus before we get to class so we don't have to waste time on the first day talking about the syllabus. That way we can jump straight into material. I know you're excited about it. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the instructors for the class. We're going to talk about the major elements of the class in terms of the administrative side, not the content side. And the bottom line, how are you going to get scored in this class, which is probably all you care about at the moment. So, at the end of this section, what should you be able to do? You should be able to identify your instructor. You should be able to locate the course syllabus on Blackboard. Hopefully you've been using Blackboard for a while. This is a junior-senior level course, so I assume you're already proficient with Blackboard. And you should be able to calculate your current letter grade. So, who are the instructors? Well, if you're in my section, your instructor is Dr. James Minders. That's me. My office is in E43. You can see my email address there. It's also on the syllabus. And I'm going to be doing office hours immediately after class, so that'd be Monday, Wednesday, 3:20 to 4:15 p.m. The other sections are taught this semester by Professor Krunal Patel and Professor Jim Kearns. Both of them have been teaching this course for a couple of semesters. Both of them are very proficient in this stuff. You will not have a problem. So a little background on me. My educational background is from Purdue University. I grew up in Indiana, so it was in-state. That's how I ended up there. I've got, at this point, I'd just say more than 10 years of research experience in the area of mechatronics, more than 5 years of teaching experience. I taught a little bit at Purdue before I came to Lawrence Tech. I'm also the program director for our Masters of Science in Mechatronic Systems Engineering program, so if you're interested in a Masters in Mechatronics, come talk to me. My research is in piezoelectric actuation. I also had a student working on UAV flight control and another couple of students working on selective laser sintering, which is an additive manufacturing technique using lasers instead of something like a standard 3D printer that simply melts plastic. When I am not in the classroom and not in the building, I've got a 10-month-old son and a puppy, so I'm a little busy at home. For the course, there is one required textbook, Modern Control Engineering by Ogata. This is a standard in the area. It's a great textbook. There are some optional textbooks. You may find them useful. You may not. But there's a list there in case you need an additional reference. All assigned readings and homeworks will come out of the Ogata text. You are not required to have any of the optional texts. If there is something official that we need to tell you, class is going to be canceled for the day, there's going to be a change in the homework assignments, there's going to be a change in the exam schedule, whatever. There are only 3 ways that you will find out about these changes in the class. You may find out during class, simply just making announcements during the class period. You may find out through Blackboard. Blackboard has a nice announcement feature. I like to use it for letting you know that I've posted homeworks and such. And you may receive an email directly to your LTU email address. That's it. I am not going to contact you through anything other than those 3 methods. I will not use your personal email for anything class related. It's only going to be your LTU email address. So what are we going to have in this class? This is a very busy class. It's a 4-credit class. You might have noticed that it's going to be substantially more time investment than some of your other classes just because it is 4 credit hours, 5 actual in-class hours. So we've got lectures 2 days a week, Monday, Wednesday for my section. There are lectures. I'm going to post my lecture notes to Blackboard. My expectation is that you will ask questions, pay attention. If there is, if there's some sort of question you're having, make sure you're asking it, and then in addition to that question and answer portion, there's also going to be quizzes occasionally, just to make sure you're actually paying attention. But the quizzes will always be in the first 5 minutes of class. I value punctuality, so if you are not punctual to class, you may miss the quizzes. There are also some video lectures. Most of these are pre-recorded from previous semesters, and we'll dig out the same ones we've used in the past. I will post the links on Blackboard. And there may be a quiz, again, in the first 5 minutes because we're going to do things very quickly there, just to check that you watched the video. So it'll be simple quizzes, what was I wearing, that sort of thing. Also, there are some PBL activities. This is part of our ongoing course modifications throughout the engineering curriculum. You've seen PBL, problem-based learning, before. It's nothing new. Um, we've done it before in this class multiple times. It usually goes pretty well. There are also going to be homework assignments. I try to average about one homework assignment per week. Typically, that's 3 problems. I recommend that you work with your friends. If you work with your friends, please identify who they are. It just helps in terms of the grading so that I don't look at them and say, boy, these solutions are awfully suspiciously common. Just tell me who you're working with. It's no big deal. I expect that you're working together. That is authorized in terms of the academic honor code. But I expect that you're also writing your own solutions, so there may be some differences between you and your friends. When you submit your homework, I want it uploaded to Blackboard at the beginning of class, so don't turn it in at the end of class, don't turn it in the next day, upload it at the beginning of class or right before class. And please combine all of your solutions, including any figures you've created from MATLAB, all into one PDF. And then the one exception to that is that your MATLAB M files, your script files, I'd like those separate so that I can access them easily. But if you've got some code and you've got some figures, I expect that whatever writing you've done about the figures to explain them is going to be with the figures in a PDF that I can just scroll right through and see if you've answered the questions. If there's anything extra, any appendices you need or whatnot, just bundle them up into a zip file and upload them as well. I will post a quick guide for using OneNote for homework assignments because I think OneNote's a great product. It's on your laptop already, so if it's useful to you, go for it. If you want something else, go for it. If you're going to work out the homework problems on paper and then scan them, please make sure that it's a good quality scan and that it's legible. We'll also have 2 midterm exams and a final exam. I find that 2 midterm exams keeps you on your toes, which is great. I like using concept questions on the exam, so you will find that there are some questions that are not calculation, they are writing. They are asking you to analyze something and respond to it. They are asking you to choose amongst some things, provide a short answer, whatever. They're concept questions. They will not necessarily be calculation questions. There will also be calculation questions. I don't do makeup exams unless there are extenuating circumstances. Try to show up for the exam. Final exam will be cumulative, and again, part of it will be concept questions. The one big thing you need to know about the final exam is that we will have a joint final exam with all sections of the class. In order to make that happen, we will take the final exam at a different time than what is posted on the university exam schedule. It will likely have to be at the end of the week. Do not plan your flights out of town right at the end of the exam session. Wait until Saturday or Sunday, please, or you will miss the final exam. Our final exam will be different than what's on the exam schedule, and we will cover that when we get close to it. I will try to make sure that we can accommodate everybody without conflicting with anything else you got going on, but it will require some give and take. Now, the part that you probably care about is, how am I getting graded? These are the different components. You've got labs. Your labs will be done in groups. That's 10% of your grade. You've got the PBL activities. That's going to be 15% of your grade. There's homework. That's 10% of your grade. The homework is actually a pretty low percentage of your grade, but I do encourage you to do the homework. Exams, 20% each. Exam 1, Exam 2, and the final exam, they're each 20%. And then participation in quizzes is 5%. I do make the note that I do not curve the class. However, if the average is not where I want it to be, I do make some adjustments. Well, I'll adjust it up. It's never been a problem of adjusting it down. Finally, the academic honor code. You've seen this before. There's your official statement. It's supposed to be on all academic work that you submit, so please put it on your homework. The exam questions, it's going to be on the front page. Actually, that's an error. It's no longer an extra credit question. I moved it to just being the on the front page. You'll just sign off on the AHC at the beginning of the exam. For group work, when you're doing your lab assignments, I expect you to work with groups. I expect you, for the lab assignments, to turn in one lab report for the entire group. That is authorized work. I expect that you're going to want to work in groups for the homework. That's also authorized, although for the homework, I really want you to submit your own solutions. If you simply copy someone else's solutions, that's unauthorized, and that's an AHC violation. Plagiarism comes up occasionally because there's going to be a couple of homework assignments where you are going to be required to think about mechatronic systems and maybe review some stuff from websites and write about them. You can quote things, you can paraphrase things, but you need to cite your work. If you quote or paraphrase or summarize without acknowledgement, that is plagiarism. If you copy and paste a website, please don't do that. That's plagiarism. Yeah. Read through this. I've got additional resources if you're interested about plagiarism. Most of you are going to be okay on that. Just make sure that you are citing your work. So, in case of a violation, the first penalty is failure of the course. The second penalty is expulsion. So, let's not do that. Oops, that's all I had. So there we go. We've covered the major highlights of the syllabus. So at this point, you should be all set and ready to start content on the first day of class. And we will start right there with what is mechatronics and what are we going to do in terms of actual things in the class.